Hello! It's good to see you. I haven't filmed a video in 8 months. I don't really have an excuse except for pandemic, but I'm filming this on January the 8th, 2021, 2 days after a bunch of deranged people decided they would try to siege the United States for some reason. And in a completely unrelated note, here are a bunch of movies where Nazis are getting their face kicked in. Green Room, a movie about a punk band killing Nazis. Inglourious Basterds, a rewrite of history where Brad Pitt and a bunch of other people shoot Hitler and kill a bunch of Nazis. Miss Congeniality, a movie where Sandra Bullock kills Nazis. The Dirty Dozen, Jim Brown, running back from the NFL, runs around dropping grenades down chutes and blowing up a bunch of bougie Nazis at a dinner party. Where Eagles Dare, Richard Burton and Clint Eastwood blow up a bunch of castles and kill a bunch of Nazis. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones punches a bunch of Nazis. Anyway, that being said, that is out of the way now, so let's hop into the list. For those of you unaware, I do this every single year. I keep a list where I write down movies. Normally these last forever, and I'll say at the beginning, oh, I don't want this to last too long, and historically, I have fucked that up every single time, so I'm not going to say that today. However, the list of movies I've seen is incredibly short, so there's a good chance this one won't be that long. Probably just jinx that. Future me, if I did, put a notice up so people know sort of what they're getting into. So as with every year, I keep a list of movies I've seen. I normally round out about 30 to 35 movies every single year. And these are movies I've seen in 2020 that were produced in 2020, or movies that maybe came out the year before that I saw in 2020. Normally, like I said, previous years I've hit about 30. This year I think I have 10. So probably won't be a very long video today, which is good for me because I don't want to look at myself for that long. Let's just hop into the list. If you want to take notes, pause it, I guess. I don't know why you would. Anyway, here's the list of the movies I saw. A couple I saw in previous years, but if I didn't put them on the list, then there would be nothing for me to talk about. So here we go. The first movie I saw in 2020 was Good Time, starring Robert Pattinson and one of the Safdie brothers. It's a Safdie brothers movie. The guys who made Uncut Gems, which is an Adam Sandler vehicle where he doesn't get to do his sort of bumbling, schlubby stuff and actually had to act, which was apparently fantastic. I did not get to see it, but Good Time is their first movie that came out 2018-ish, I believe, and I saw it for the first time this year. So I said, what the hell? It's my list and my rules. I think I'll just put it on there, and it was pretty good. Robert Pattinson's a good boy. That movie is wild, dude. He plays like this horribly terrible con man, and the Safdie brother, one of them, plays his brother, who's also really bad. Anyway, it's weird looking and strange, and it creeped me out, but it was memorable. What a terrible review. Next up was Birds of Prey, a movie that terribly underperformed for DC. The DC Cinematic Universe continues to throw out stinkers. Another one will show up later on this list, but Birds of Prey was actually a movie that I kind of enjoyed quite a lot. Margot Robbie is fantastic in that role as Harley Quinn, and she carries the whole thing on her shoulders. The story does seem to dip a little bit into some boredom there. It's very tedious, but I still enjoyed it. It's very colorful, very bright. The cinematography, top-notch. That's Birds of Prey. Next up is the last movie I saw in theaters in the year 2020, which is incredibly sad because it was Blumhouse's Fantasy Island, which is one of the more bad movies I've seen in my whole life, not just in the year 2020. It might very well be the worst film that I have ever watched. It is impossibly boring. It's incredibly confusing. It makes no sense. The characters are awful and shallow, and when they die, you sort of just let out a sort of that noise. It's a movie that while I was watching it, I was hoping someone would roll out a whiteboard so I could take a marker and sort of write out what I thought was happening, because none of it made sense, and it was incredibly bad. And what a way to kick off the pandemic. Blumhouse's Fantasy Island. After that, I saw Onward, the latest Pixar film. I think that actually came out last year. I'm not really sure when that came. Maybe the beginning of this year. A movie that critically did not do that well, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Mixes a lot of coming of age stuff. Feels a lot like The Goonies. If The Goonies had wizards in it, if The Goonies were set in a fantasy world where everything was real, unicorns and talking animals and different races, dwarves and elves and all these things. If that was all real, mixed with The Goonies, mixed with a story about family, but like really, that Pixar kind of schmaltz that is thrown up on the screen, that good stuff. That's what Onward was, and I really enjoyed it. Made me laugh a lot, made me cry. Obviously, it's a Pixar movie, and I thought it was great. One of my favorite entries in the Pixar catalog. Really enjoyed it. Next up was Dark Phoenix, a movie that is so bad, I don't remember anything that happens in that movie. Hold on. There's a Phoenix. She's dark. There's a Phoenix that's dark. I remember space. Space, I guess. I remember space. I remember stuff blows up. I remember like the director wanted me to be sad, but all I was just very bored. So that's Dark Phoenix. After that was Enola Holmes, a film that was a Netflix original, starring Millie Bobby Brown as Sherlock Holmes' younger sister. It was a great film. It reminded me a lot of if you took like a Guy Ritchie Sherlock film and mixed it with like a Ferris Bueller sensibility, because she breaks the fourth wall and speaks to the camera quite often, and it has a very deep comedic vibe to it. It's a great film. Really good time, very enjoyable. It's on Netflix right now. Enola Holmes. After that was Midsommar, a movie that came out in 2019, but I didn't see until this year. Ari Aster's follow-up to Hereditary, a film that was critically lauded by everybody. Midsommar is a movie that I have found myself sort of obsessed with. I just can't stop thinking about it, and it's not probably the best movie, but it's a movie that left a residue on me, and because of that, I've thought about it and sort of taken in all the media I can surrounding it, and I loved it quite a lot. Midsommar was a fantastic horror film. It goes against conventional norms. Everything's in the daylight. It's a very unsettling piece, but I truly enjoyed it, and yeah, that's Midsommar. After that is Tenet, a movie that I have not been able to stop thinking about and talking about. I'm sure I'm driving everyone around me crazy that is close to me because I keep talking about this fucking movie, but I wish that people would watch it so we could talk more about it. Christopher Nolan's latest movie. I'm a Christopher Nolan fanboy. I admit wholeheartedly I love what he does. I love when he makes movies. They're cinematic. They're masterpieces. They're something that's not true. They are movies that you should watch on the big screen, but because the pandemic sort of raging in the country, decided not to do that. Watched it here. The sound was pretty bad, but I watch most things with subtitles, so I understand what's going on. I highly recommend you do that with Tenet, because otherwise you will not understand anything that's happening. A wild story, a good time. It's like Inception, except they take out the really heavy-handed family romance stuff and just make it a straight heist film. It's like a time heist. It's really good. After that, I saw Emma, the latest film from a person that I thought was Wes Anderson, but is not Wes Anderson, just tries to make a lot of their shots look like Wes Anderson shots. It was a fine film. I'm not a big fan of romance movies, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. And the number one thing I can guarantee is Bill Nighy's in it, and he always fucking just absolutely rips ass. So the final film I saw in 2020 was Wonder Woman 1984, which probably the most boringest movie I've seen in a long time. The biggest letdown for sure. I was very excited. 2017's Wonder Woman from Patty Jenkins, same director as this one, is a film that I really enjoyed. It broke a lot of genre norms as far as superhero films goes. It was powerful. There were a lot of set pieces in that were very memorable. The characters were memorable. Even the secondary and tertiary ones were something that I really enjoyed. This movie is the equivalent of a loaf of bread, I guess. I don't know why that popped into my head, but the safest, dullest thing you could possibly do, and still make a movie. It is incredibly long. The first time Wonder Woman becomes Wonder Woman and has like a big action set piece is like an hour 20 into the movie, which if your movie's called Wonder Woman, you probably should have more Wonder Woman in it. Cheetah looks like like the movie Cats. They had a casting call and Cheetah didn't make it. And so she just went real evil, and they put her in, and she just showed up in Wonder Woman. They're like, you just do your weird evil thing here. I would probably rather watch Cats than watch Wonder Woman 1984 again. It was bad. That's all I got to say. That being said, I hope that you're having a good year. Oh, probably not, but I hope 2021 treats you well. I don't know why I keep looking over in this direction. There's nothing over there. I'm just looking at it. Because I haven't been in front of this in so long. We haven't communicated, you and I, in such a long time. And I hope that, I hope you're doing good. I promise to be in front of the camera a lot more this year. I've just, things have been, they've not been too good, if you catch my meaning. So, that's it. Love you, mean it. Is that all I gotta say? I don't know. Tiger King was weird, right?